Hey y'all, welcome to the Flip Flop Barnyard. I'm Jenna and I'm super excited to show you my garden. If you've been here for very long or you stick around for a while, you'll notice that I'm pretty much super excited about everything. I don't mean to be, but I am. It's just who I am as a person. I'm really super excited because we've been planting in the garden and things are looking really good. So I'm just going to go around and show you everything we have going on over here. So if you've watched my videos recently, you'll see that Derek and the boys just built me these raised beds and I'm, you guessed it, super excited about them. No, but really they are pretty awesome and we got some really great soil in them, and so I expect everything to just do amazing this year. And this is our little green bean bed, and we went ahead yesterday and came through and mulched. We had some wood chips and mulch that we have a big pile of uh, out on the other side of the property, and we went ahead and mulched everything because we want to make sure that everything is retaining moisture. The surface of the soil was drying out. Yesterday we had a really sunny and hot day and everything was pretty dry on top. It's moist down underneath, but all of the plants are so young and fragile. Their roots aren't real deep yet, so I just want to make sure we're doing everything we can to keep them healthy and keep the soil moist for them. So we did mulch yesterday evening. We made a big time of it, had a campfire, kids roasted some hot dogs, and we just had a fun time, family night. So we just have, these are Antigua bush beans. We've been growing them. Actually, I have the same beans that I bought in 2020. I bought like 2 pounds of beans, and every year we've planted tons of them. 2 pounds of dry beans for seed is a lot more than you think it is. When you're ordering it, you're like, oh yeah, that's going to do a couple of years. Well, I still have probably a quarter pound of seeds left. So we've done this whole bed. We'll do at least one batch of them because green beans you can succession plant. We'll see how many. We've used up the last of our canned green beans from like 2020. So we're going to can a bunch, and then I'm wanting to save seeds. Again, I still like the germination rate on these beans is amazing because beans are, you know, they were packaged probably in 2019 and they're still almost 100% germination on them. So I still have enough for next year, but I do want to plan ahead and be able to save my own seeds. Then we put up these arch trellises between the beds, which I think is just going to be glorious when it's all filled out. And so we went ahead and got, these are Blue Lake pole beans. So there we planted one row on each end of the trellises. We have another trellis down there. And so these pole beans will just go up and over, and that will just give us more green beans to fill in and can as we go. This bed is still empty, and a little over half of this bed, this is going to be sweet potato slips, which should be shipping anytime. I ordered organic sweet potato slips. I think I ordered 50, so I should be able to put around 32 in this bed. The rest will go in this bed. And then in this bed, I also have dill. I have most we started from seed, which was looking a little rough, but it's starting to get green on it and come back. Well, that one's not looking too good. We're not gonna look at that one. The bushier one, I think it's also a different variety, but these I bought at a greenhouse. There are a couple of them. These are 4 ground cherry plants. And then I have, again, the pole beans here, pole beans on this side. The girls got some flowers at a greenhouse. And so they have here and here, I think they're verbena. And then there's some zinnias right here, just a orange red zinnia. These are tomatillos. Emma has planted borage. It hasn't come up yet, but she planted some borage right there. And then I have some cucamelons or gherkins right here. And then we put popcorn in down here. I planted red popcorn, like strawberry popcorn, and then a blue popcorn. And so far, all of the strawberry popcorn, except for like one, came up. And then I only have 2 so far of the blue. I don't know if it's gonna, I don't know that any more are gonna come up. I'm not really sure why, but we'll have some. It's just one of those kind of fun things to do. So we just did that, and we put this trellis here for our gherkins because they get a little crazy and they definitely need trellising. And then since you last saw, Derek has built a couple more beds here. So far these are empty. We're going to put rutabagas in one, which we're probably going to do today. And then the other one I think I'm going to save for carrots, which I won't be planting carrots until July. But these are fun little beds, and we have more over there. I'll show you in a minute. But let's go through the rest of this garden. So if you notice, I have a nice grass path between all of my beds and around the outside. The boys planted this grass just a couple weeks ago, and they put down straw matting, and we were able to pull up the straw yesterday, and look how much grass has already grown. That grass is really, really hardy, does really well. They did get a little bit in some of the beds, so we've been going through and pulling out grass sprigs before it takes real root out of the beds. But yeah, so this is gonna be really nice to be able to walk through here barefoot. Once the grass is really plush, we'll be able to walk through here barefoot, and I'm excited about that. But these 8 beds through here have tomatoes. I have saucing tomatoes down on that end, mostly slicers, and then smaller tomatoes. There's one grape tomato and then a bunch of cherry tomatoes. So we went ahead and put them on these trellises. They do really well. This is how we grow our tomatoes most often. And then I have a ton of basil. I have dark opal purple basil, and I have some green basil. I forget what variety, but just plain old basil down there. And we actually topped the plants last night. I'm not sure what I did with that basil. I was going to take it home. Oh, it's laying over there. We were going to take it down, and the kids had it and laid it down. So we need to grab that. I'm going to take it, and I'll either chop it and freeze it in ice cube trays with water, or I will dry it. I haven't decided. I spy a baby tomato. This is an indigo apple, which is a really pretty tomato. It gets really dark red, and then the shoulders are really dark blue purple. Really, really pretty, but that's kind of beside the point. I was just really excited about it. But my tomatoes are looking really good. We started all of these from seed, actually a second batch, because our first group of tomatoes flipped over with our greenhouse and got destroyed, which was really sad. But obviously planting them the second batch a little later didn't hurt anything. And as they grow, we'll just hook them with probably zip ties to this trellis. They look really, really healthy, and they've grown a ton in 2 weeks. When we planted them, they were really, much smaller. And then of course we mulch. So there's about that much mulch, maybe 2.5, 3 inches of mulch on top of what we already did. And tomatoes, because of their stems, they'll root. It doesn't hurt them to bury them more. They'll just root more. Whereas other plants, you got to be more careful because you'll make the stems rot. But yeah, I'm really happy and pleased with the way my tomatoes are looking. They're coming along, and they're going to be tasty and delicious. So I have sage. I started from seed, and it was struggling a bit, and we put it out anyways. They weren't very big. This one I think has given up and has died. I have these 3. There were 2 here that died. Then I have this one and this one, and then that one, I think it's pretty much gone. It's still there, but I don't think it's going to make it. So hopefully the sage makes it. If not, it'll be all right. But, I wanted to give it a fighting chance. So I went ahead and put it all in, and we'll see how it does. Then otherwise, beside the basil and the sage and the tomatoes, we have pepper plants. And if you've watched our house building videos, you have met Mr. Tim that's helping with our electric. He brought me 4 new pepper plants, and they are Sugar Rush Red. They're a mildly hot pepper, and I've never grown them, so I'm super excited to try them. Thank you, Mr. Tim. We put them in over here, and they look really good. But yeah, we have all these peppers in here. We have a lot of bell peppers, some chilies. What else? Some couple of poblanos, just a variety of peppers for us to hopefully be able to preserve and have plenty to get through the year. Here's my onion bed, and it's super exciting. I've got to quit saying that. Y'all are probably getting annoyed with that term. But they're starting to really bulb, which is about right. They get big, and then they start bulbing. So they're looking really good. I have a couple of calendula in here, a couple of tulip bulbs, which it was just one of those. We didn't have any other beds yet. We just had 2 beds, so we just threw them in because they needed to go in. But they're doing well. This was the other bed. You'll see these 2 beds have tops, and the rest of my beds are getting tops, but just not yet. We're waiting on the lumber for that. But we have okra and zucchini in these beds, and they're coming up and looking really good. Our germination rate was pretty good. I think we only had 1 not germinate in each bed. So that's awesome. And our last tall bed down here, we have this trellis. Although it shifted, it was even, and I don't know what happened. It slid, but that's okay. We have cucumbers, and they will just go up. I think I planted all pickling cucumbers. They're homemade pickles variety. We really like those. They were very uniform, and so we're gonna hopefully make lots and lots of pickles. We like dill pickles, and the kids and Derek like bread and butter pickles, so we'll try to make some of those. We haven't made them in a few years. And then we went to a farmer's market the other weekend, and they do a thing where they give kids between the ages of 6 and 10 or something like that a $5 certificate to spend on vegetables or anything, a plant that grows vegetables. Jacob decided he wanted to buy cabbage, which I thought was really funny. So he bought a 4-pack of cabbage, which actually came with 5, and they're here. And then Josiah has one, which is the same variety. I thought that was kind of funny. It's like a red acre or something, I think is what it was. That overwintered from last year, never did anything last year, and was really, really small. And he found it, and he actually planted it over there in some dirt over there and had babied it. And then when we put these beds in, he dug it up and brought it over here. And I'm surprised it's still alive, but it's thriving. So I don't know if it'll end up getting too hot for cabbage before this cabbage has a chance to make heads, but it's fun for the kids. It's an experiment, and I like to encourage them anytime they want to grow something. I'm all about encouraging that. So the new thing we have over here is melon beds and a strawberry bed. So the melon beds, I had started some sugar baby bush watermelons and also strawberry watermelons, which strawberry watermelons are my absolute favorite. A friend of mine from Texas gave me the seeds, and they're hands down the best and sweetest watermelon. I don't know if my microphone picks that up or not, but there's like fighter jets flying. They're really loud. So we have one more type of watermelon down here. There's 4 plants. They're some kind of yellow melon. I don't know what variety. Our neighbors, we came home the other day and there were 4 melons sitting on our porch. And our neighbors had ordered them off of, I don't know, from a seed company and left them for us because they had more than they needed. I was pretty excited about that. So they are planted down there. And then I put in, we had grown this melon that a friend had given me seeds for, and the seed said pear melon, but when I looked it up, I couldn't find anything that was a pear melon. And when I put in like describe the melon, it came up with an Appalachian or old time Tennessee muskmelon or Appalachian melon. I don't know. It's called several different things. And I found one seed company online that had seeds for it because I had saved seeds, but it had cross-pollinated. So my second year of the melon, our seeds were weird. Whatever it produced was some kind of melon, but it was not true to the original one that I had grown. So I was able to buy these, and I'm hoping, since they're the only cantaloupe style melon I have over here, I'm going to save seeds from these. If I plant more, they'll be over in the other garden. And these 3 watermelons should also should ripen at different rates, so flower at different rates. And if they flower at different times, then they won't cross-pollinate. Cross-pollinating only affects your next year's crop. It will not affect this year's crop, but the seed that fruit produces will then be a cross of whatever 2 melons cross. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm hoping by having them at ripening at different rates, flowering at different rates, I will avoid all of that. But this is our little melon beds. It's kind of like one of those things where I keep getting more things, and so Derek keeps having to build me more beds, and I'm okay with that. And then we had a little bit of an experiment here. We put down a row of the good soil and sprinkled amaranth seeds. And then it poured a torrential downpour that night and like washed it all away. So I kind of gave up hope. But over here, and you'll have to come over and get really close, and I have to find them. Oh yeah, there's one. It appears that I have quite a few little bitty amaranths coming up. There's one there. There's one back here. There, last night the girls and I were over here, and we were able to find, yeah, we were able to find several, not a ton. But that's kind of an experimental. I'm hoping that it'll grow and do something really cool. I was watching Annabelle Trades, and she plants that because it attracts all of the pest bugs that would be on your other plants in the garden. And so it kind of keeps the vast majority of the pests on those rather than on your other stuff. So it's kind of a sacrificial crop, but I would rather have something that I'm not as excited about eating as a sacrificial crop, and it's beautiful to look at, so then I don't have as many bugs on my other stuff. And then last but not least up here, this it's not much of a looker right now. This is a strawberry bed. So year before last, we went and dug strawberries at Derek's uncle's house. He's in his late 90s, and we came home with, I don't know, was it 3 or 4 contractor bags. I mean, we had literal thousands upon thousands of strawberry plants, and we planted as many as we could, and the other garden like filled up. I mean, it was couple thousand over there. We gave them away. I mean, it was crazy. Well, the cows got in and ate a lot of them, got in the garden over there. And that was really frustrating and disappointing. So we're going to end up tilling that garden and doing some other things. We've got potatoes over there. We're going to plant corn and winter squash and things. And Emma has flowers over there. And we were looking through it because we had seen a couple of strawberry plants. Well, what we thought was a couple ended up being probably between 175 and 200 plants. So the other day we went and dug all the ones we could find and we put them in this bed. And I would guess probably, yeah, like I said, between 175, probably around 175 plants are in here. They're looking a little rough. It is not the right time to dig and transplant strawberries, but it was one of those, if we don't, we're going to end up killing them because we're going to till. But they looked worse yesterday. We watered them last night, and I noticed that the flowers are opening up today. These were not open yesterday. So I think we're going to be okay. If we lose a few plants, it'll be all right. We have a mix of everbearing and June-bearing strawberries in here. And I don't expect much, obviously, this year, but hopefully next year this just does incredible. And on top of all this, I may have accidentally gone on Stark Brothers website because they were having a sale and ordered 75 more bare root strawberry plants. 50 June bearing and 25 ever bearing. So somebody's going to have to build me another one of these beds because they're being shipped this week. And they won't probably produce this year, but they'll produce next year. And then I may or may not have watched Jess's on Roots and Refuge, her last garden tour, and she had some beautiful strawberries that had pink flowers called, so I ordered, it's called Buried Treasures Strawberry. I ordered seeds from them. They did have the plants, but one plant was rather expensive and you could order a pack of 15 seeds. So I ordered 2 packs of seeds. It's a process to start strawberries from seeds. You have to freeze the seeds and then start them and keep them really moist and humid and then plant them out. And it's better to do it early in the spring if you want any strawberries that year. I already know I'm not going to get any. And so I think that if I start them when they come or freeze them and then start them, by the fall they'll be ready to be planted. And that's really the ideal time to put strawberry plants, bare root plants in anyway. So hopefully they do well, they germinate well, and then we plant them, and next year we have pretty pink flowers on our strawberries because, you know, why not? One more thing I did, and I'm done maybe with buying plants and things, is Stark Brothers again sent out another email. Their marketing team they do a really good job. They had grapevines for really, really cheap with free shipping. So I have ordered 4 grapevines, a seedless Concord grape, and they're going to also ship this week. So somebody's going to have to build me arbors as well as another strawberry bed, as well as plumb an entire house for me this week. No pressure. But yeah, so I should be getting those grapevines, and they're supposed to produce year 2 or year 3, and this is technically their year 1. So hopefully next year we get at least a few grapes off of them. So that was really exciting. We're going to put them in up here, and yeah, I think that this year's garden is going to be amazing, and then all of the perennial stuff we're putting in next year I think is just going to be even better. There's some blackberries, thornless blackberries planted on the other side of the house, and some blueberries. So I think we're going to have a really, really good couple of years up here in the garden, just starting out, and then it's just going to get better from there. But thanks for hanging out with me for this first official garden tour of 2024. I appreciate y'all. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload videos. Give us a thumbs up so YouTube will know that you're enjoying this. Please comment below. Let me know what you're looking forward to growing this year or what you think of my garden up here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.